Hello, 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 Earth Angels. Elvia Rowe here, founder of Angels Teach, and happy birthday to Angels Teach. I had to get my swag on here. Don't think I'll be keeping it on the whole time, but wanted to be a little festive, a little extra festive, because Angels Teach has just turned 14. And when I think back to my first guidance about teaching angel card reading and the intuitive development programs that I was feeling guided to do, technology back then was not what it is today. And I remember just having this like, are you serious, angels? You want me to do this online? And here we are, 14 years later, and so much has changed. And anyway, delighted to be sharing space with you. So we're doing things in celebration of our birthday month. We're doing things a little differently. You know me, I love to mix it up. And so I'm going to do 14 speed readings. The card deck that I've been guided to use is the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards by Alberto Villoro, Colette Baron-Reed, and Marcella Lobos. And Peter and I use these cards. We have been anyway, every morning for the last few weeks, and we like to rotate them. But these are the cards that really wanted to be part of this 14 speed readings. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do, is you can either choose one number or choose more than one. I'm going to drop in the comments in the YouTube posting, I'm going to drop the minute markers so that you can do a jump to that particular number, that particular reading. If you need to kind of speed through this yourself or come back and just get a quick reading. This is actually a good way to, if you're having a moment, come back to this video and let the angels give you a number and it's like, oh, okay, I got to go to 7 and get what you need in the moment. So again, choose one number between 1 and 14 or more than one as you're guided. So let's do this. For those of you who chose number 1, your card is starting with a little dose of patience when the cards come forward slowly. And the card is the Sun. This is a yes. Actually, Peter picked this card this morning. This is funny. I had a feeling this was going to happen. And then the Sun to me is just that quick yes. Should I do this, yes or no? And is actually was the answer to my question, should I do this video today? And it was a yes. So any of these readings can mean a whole lot more. I'm just giving this little snippet, this little power focused moment for all of you guys. So starting with number 1, it is a yes, fullness, Sun, embrace it, whatever it is you're considering at this time. For those of you who chose number 2, your card is the Wind. Something in your life is moving or actually needs to move. There is something that you need to blow it away and let it go and let it move on because it is no longer serving you. So allow the wind, use the wind as your ally to facilitate that transformation, that letting go, that release and moving on of whatever it is. And for any of these, because these are quick readings, just go with, if you're wondering, okay, what do I say yes to? What am I needing to let go of as we go through this? Whatever it is that comes to mind first and rises up from your heart first, stay with that, because that's usually 99% of the time, that's the right direction for you to head in answering the question, what am I supposed to say yes to? What am I supposed to let go of? All right, so number 3. These cards can be read in reverse, and they call the reverse drawings medicine, which I love. So I was just asking if this needs to be reversed. They said no. The Sorcerer. So this is a little more mysterious. The message is feeling a little deeper, and I'll show you the image again in a second here, but there's this need to embrace this side of you that is like a sorcerer, or and I want to say a sorceress, because I know a lot of my people out there are women. but I'm hearing no. So this is about embracing that divine masculine in you that embodies those things of the divine masculine, that is sorceress like, or sorcerer, pardon me, like. So owning your power, owning your magic, owning your abilities, standing strong for who you are, which of course, yes, can be feminine, but when we talk about the divine masculine, it has a different energy. So for those of you who chose this, this is your message. All right. For those of you who chose number 4, Wild Woman. I'm hearing immediately, set me free, set me free, set me free. There is a woman inside of you. And I'm asking, what about the dudes that are watching this? And they're saying, yes, there is a woman inside of you. So it's interesting. We're really accessing different aspects of ourselves through these readings. I can already see that happening. There is a woman inside of you who wants to dance, who wants to be let out, who wants to be free, who wants to just be able to be her true self with everything that she's got. And this is your invitation to do that, to experiment with that if you need to. I'm hearing that for some of you, it's going to be a bit of a journey to get there. Totally cool. Just accept yourself where you are right now, but know that there is a wild woman inside of you who is really wanting, needing to express herself. For those of you who chose number 5, another one with a dose of patience. Pay attention to how the cards come forward, because that's part of the message. Okay. I had quite a bit of patience, and I'm actually hearing hesitancy, not even knowing what the card is yet. So the card is Sweat Lodge. Purification. That's what this is about. And I think that comes forward with this hesitancy and patience, because purification really means looking at your habits, means looking at your way of showing up in the world and purifying that. You know, what are you doing that may be toxic to your body, to your soul? You know, what are those habits? And entering because the Sweat Lodge is this space that you go into to heal, to let go of the toxins, to release and to purify. So this is your call, number 5, to purify. And I'm interested that it's number 5, because in the Mayan Kolkic calendar that Peter and I follow, 5 is diversity, effort, and love. And so that's where the effort and, plays in, because it takes work to purify. And there can be hesitancy to do that. All right. So number 6, the witness. Ooh. This one is about, you may know of this sort of metaphysical practice of being the witness to yourself, of being the witness to how you're behaving, how you're showing up in the world. And it's about raising your perspective of your own self and your own beingness. And that's what this is. This is an invitation for you to, do what you need to do. I often will close my eyes, take some deep breaths, and invite the angels, my guides, to show me what I need to see. How can I be witness to my own self, to my own behaviors, to my own choices, and have a little more objectivity? Because that's what it comes back to, is having that objectivity and not being mired in the ego's expectations, and really trying to gain some distance from that, so that you can have more of a bird's eye view, more of a clean perspective of what's going on. So this is your invitation to be the witness, to observe, your own self, and see what needs to be seen. Okay, so for those of you who chose number 7, water. I'm hearing drink more, so that's part of it. That's probably a quick hit for some of you guys. But there's more to that. There's this bubble. So water is obviously one of the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Water is about the unconscious self. Um, and there is part of that in this message here. But really, what I'm picking up on more than anything is to surround yourself in a bubble of light. This has the feeling of protection message in it. That if you chose number 7, that there is a need for you to protect your energy, to visualize yourself in this bubble of light, protected from anything that you feel may be a threat to you. And of course, I always believe that love is the ultimate protector. So surrounding yourself in that bubble of love and light, I think, is really what this message is calling for. Okay, so on to number 8. None of these have been reversed yet. Guess you guys don't need medicine. We don't need medicine. We just need the messages. So number 8. I love that the spiral came forward as number 8, because 8, of course, is about abundance and about all things. In the spiral, the message here is that you are likely, if you chose number 8, you are likely at a point in your life where you're coming back, you're circling back to a point that you've been before, but you have a new perspective. And that's one of the gifts of the spiral imagery, is to understand that life is this, it's not circular, it's this spiral dance. And that we come back, we circle around to where we've been before, but we have so much more experience, so much more wisdom to bring to the table. And this is really the message for you guys that chose number 8, is that there's an invitation to look at the wisdom that you have gained from other similar life points or situations, whatever it is that's troubling you right now. Reflect on where you've been in a similar place before in your life, and the wisdom that you learned, the lessons that you learned, so that you can apply that with more wisdom to where you're at right now. All right, so number 9. This one couldn't make up its mind. Number 9, thunder. This is interesting. This feels like a deep message. Thunder can be one of those forces that you feel in your bones. That it's just, it's shaking, it's stirring things up, it's awakening inside. And if you chose number 9, there's a part of you that is feeling shaken in that way that may feel a little intimidating, a little scary, but it may also feel just kind of exciting, because change, transformation that you've wanted for a while is starting to happen. So this feels to me like there's this shaking things up kind of energy that is happening if you've chosen number 9, that you are being woken up, so to speak. So I'm hearing pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the winks and nods from your angels that show up in the world around you. Hearing especially dreams, which is interesting. So yeah, love that. For those of you who chose number 10, the vision quest. Oh my goodness, look at her. Look at her. She's stretching. She's celebrating life. This feels like a really good birthday card. And it's funny because I almost, before number 10, for some reason, put my ribbon back on. There is a festive, celebratory message in number 10. This feels to me like pause. Vision Quest has its own thing. And of course, with any of these cards, I always encourage you to acknowledge and own and honor the messages that are coming through you. I'm just sharing these clips of and nuggets of what's coming through for me. So Vision Quest has its own thing, But the core of the message for those of you who chose number 10 coming through me is that this is a time to pause and to celebrate and to dance. And this isn't like the wild woman needing to get out. This is just a like, yay, I did it, and really pat yourself on the back and celebrate where you've come from and what you've overcome and where you are right now. This feels like just such a joyful, yes, I did it kind of message here. Number 11. Okay. The rattle. This is also shaking things up, but it's different. This is more about, I'm trying to get from my angels the difference between this and thunder. And they say this is actually quite different. It's shaking things up, but in a ceremonial way. So rattles are used in sacred ceremony by the Native Americans, and I'm sure other cultures as well. I keep hearing ceremony. So this is a call to change up your ritual. And what I mean by ritual is your daily spiritual practice. Really have a good look at what it is that you're doing to harness the powers of the universe every single day. And, for any of you who have taken a class for 5 minutes with me, you know that I put a lot of emphasis on your daily spiritual practice, because what you put into that is returned in kind. If you kind of show up to your spiritual practice, the universe is going to kind of show up to have your back. So, and it's not about rolling up your sleeves and being really kind of hard and rigid and earnest about it. It's just about being serious about your relationship with Source and not taking it for granted, and, being, yes, relaxed, but also committed, and it's important to have that fluidity. And sometimes your spiritual practice today might be different from what it is tomorrow. So fluidity is important. But showing up every day with that commitment in your heart is essential. So that's what this card is about. Just having that sense of sacred ceremony every day, however that translates for you. Number 12. Plowing through these, huh? The corn. I'm just having a side conversation with my angels, because this card makes me think first and foremost of Field of Dreams, that movie. If you build it, they will come. And that's a big part of the message here, is that if you are feeling this idea to do something, if you are feeling that inspiration and that solid, reliable guidance to do something, if you build it, they will come. So this is your yes for that. There's something else coming through, which is why I'm sort of like having 3 different conversations here. So this is your yes for that. And let me just see what this other piece that's coming through is. I'm hearing 5 months. Some of you need to know 5 months. Not all of you, but some of you need to know 5 months. Something is transforming. It will either be something you harvest in 5 months, or it will take 5 months. It's going to depend on who's watching this and what your particular situation is. But for those of you who are feeling, 5 months, that's for me, own that and know that that's part of the message here. Anything else? This is a 10. So the 10 in human design. Okay. This is the nugget that wanted to come through. This is a little bit of a longer message. But the 10, the gate 10 in human design is the love of self. It's it's also called the blame gate, but it's about loving yourself. And so the sort of, it's almost like a Gemini thing. They're side by side messages. The other part of the message that's in equal importance to the if you build it, they will come part is that this is a message about loving yourself, about understanding how much abundance you bring to the planet, to your world, to everything that you do. So these are two completely different, somewhat overlapping, but pretty clearly different messages. So there's a duality with this as well. But you need to know how abundant your offerings are that you bring to the world. So that was kind of interesting. It's almost like the angels slid in a little 15th reading there with number 12. All right, let's see what they have for number 13. This was the last card in the deck on the bottom. The Tree of Life. And 13 is such a magical number. And the fact that it was the last card in the deck tells me that this is about completion. This is about sort of being at this end point and celebrating life. You know, celebrating, taking a moment to, and this isn't an ominous message in any sense of the word. You know, this is a moment to, different from the celebrating this point, like the Vision Quest card. This is about going back through your lifeline, through your ancestral line, and understanding how powerful it is. You know, we've been doing some ancestral healing work within Angels Teach, and I'm going to be continuing to do that because it's really important and it's really powerful. And you know, we as we do that, we focus on what needs to be released, what needs to be healed, and there's also so much to celebrate in our tree of life, in our ancestral lineage. And so this is about your own life from your birth to wherever you are now, but it's also spanning back through your parents and your grandparents and all of that, and just taking a moment to celebrate the gifts that they have brought you to where you are right now. Okay, so last but certainly not least is number 14. I'm really curious to see what this one is. The Staff. Oh my God, this is the card. I love when this stuff happens, I'm telling you. So this is the card that I picked this morning. So we started out with the card that Peter picked this morning, and we're finishing with the card that I picked this morning. I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up. The Staff. You know, and I noticed this morning, this is the giraffe. Look at that. And yeah, I love it. And in human design, the gate 51, this is a 51 here, is shock, actually, and shock to create change. And so there's a little bit of this in there, but there's this sturdiness, there's this alignment. And sometimes we need to be shocked into alignment. And that's really the essence of what this card is about, is asking your angels, your guides, to show you what is it that you need to experience to be shocked back into alignment. Because if you pick number 14, you know, there's a little bit of this, you've fallen away from yourself, from center, from your inner core power and your strength. And this is your, and I'm getting a message, it's not a lot, this is more like just course correction. So this is your invitation, your opportunity to hold that staff like a stake in the ground, like, yep, I'm going to allow myself to recenter, to rebalance, to, in the giraffe, to stretch my neck tall, to be who I am here to be. That actually feels like a beautiful message for Angels Teacher self. Gonna have to meditate on that one. Love it. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me here today. I pray that you, trust that you enjoyed these speed readings. I do. I think it is a good one to come back and use again and again. Like if you're having that moment of, I need a quick reading, come back. I will be dropping the links in the comments so you can go right to that number. With that, thank you for joining me here today. Be sure to come on over to angelsteach.com and check out what we've got going on over there right now. Because it is our birthday month, we do have some special offers that I invite you to check out. And with that, so much love, blessings, big hugs. Be well, everyone.